And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should any emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best-sounding station possible. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 3,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. And we also have a newer series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have all the actual masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR, specially oriented, resonant tuned dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant tuned dipole antenna runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami, with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you will protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you will reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their band pass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now, with all that being said, let's open it up and see who's out there. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. Whiskey Hotel Papa, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Whiskey 4, Delta Hotel Papa. This is Daryl, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Roger, Daryl in Knoxville, Tennessee. Roger, Roger. And what radio are you running today, Daryl?
I'm on 101E today.
Come a little closer to that mic and try that again.
I'm on my SC101E today. I gotta get my amp warmed up here. Hang on.
Oh, that would be lovely. That would be ever so lovely.
Ground-mounted, loaded antenna there. I got 4 33-foot ground.
Roger, Roger, Daryl. Well, let's see here. What is that? A newer radio or an older radio?
No, I believe they made this radio in about 1975. That's a ST101E. Yes, sir.
Roger, I had a D. Let me make that an E though for that one. All right. We usually start by asking to be sure you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, the TBW wide. But I'm not real sure that radio can go that wide. But sometimes you do have a selection that you can make to put it in the highest resolution possible, and that's what we would like. Are you familiar with the TBW?
Yes, sir, I am, but this radio here, it don't have any kind of selection like that on it there. I'm just on lower sideband there, Roger.
Yes, sir, Roger, Roger. Okay, so let's move on with our setup. We would now move to the compressor processor on and at a 3. Just a token amount, something you'll never hear, but a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger, Roger.
Roger on that. Yes, I'll try it, but I don't know about. I have never even used the process on this radio here. I got this radio from my uncle. Done some work for him. Like I say, he's had it since 1975. I had it read capacitors and all that. Had some work done on it and stuff, and it works pretty good. But I don't believe it goes very wide like that. And then my antenna, I got pretty good match on that, Roger.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But about that compressor processor, do you know where that is on the radio?
Yes, sir. It's that switch on here says processor, and then I believe it's got a gain adjustment or something like that on it.
Yes, sir. Well, let me just give you some notes, maybe that you can crank in at your leisure. We want that compressor processor to be on and at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger?
Roger. Can you tell any difference there now?
You took a dive on your signal a little bit. Come on back and let me listen to you again.
Let's try that right there. Good. Any better?
Your signal's still down from what it was, but like I say, do you have, can you give me a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100 on that input to the processor compressor?
Positive up to 5 going left, and then positive down to negative going right.
Well, I'm just saying, because you have a thump or click when you key in, and the audio level on that thump or click is about at your voice level. So I'm just thinking that maybe we could get a little bit better voice response if we could get that compressor on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. But in lieu of that, why don't you just take a note that when you get all squared away and you've got the time, 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100 on your compressor processor. Roger.
Roger. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I had to work on that a little bit. I'm not real familiar with that speech processor on this particular radio there, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Now, do you know where your ALC meter is?
I believe that's the same thing there on this.
You should have an ALC meter there. And what we're suggesting, you might take another note, I guess, that we want that, as you key and say the word audio, you become a human test generator. So with mic gain in hand, adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is reading 2/3. 2/3 on your ALC meter as you say the magic word audio, and you adjust that with your mic gain.
Roger. Let's see here. How am I doing? I don't know how I'm doing right there. That's 2/3. That's with the processor on. And then I switched it off there. And I'm going to turn the mic gain up. That's not doing anything. Let's see. We'll try it with process. When you put the processor in, it goes 2/3, and that's all they are to it. Now, turn the mic gain up a little bit. Does that do any better?
Yes, sir. Now, I want you to work that mic a little bit closer, about an inch away. Try it about an inch away, Roger. Roger, on the D104. Well, your signal just took another dive there. Maybe it'll come back. But why don't you tell me, now that we've got a little bit better audio, a little bit better modulation, why don't you tell me the thing you like best about your radio?
I like it. I just like it. It's dependable, and it usually sounds pretty good. I talk, all around the world. Nobody's ever said I had any audio problems there.
Yes, sir. Well, the thing is, that D104, if you're not running a matching transformer into your radio, it does nearly come to a sheet 10, because the D104 is a very high impedance microphone. It does not match well with going directly into your radio. I can hear it, and you do not have a lot of bottom, and your mids are probably rolling out at about 500. On the other hand, it is a good microphone for DXing or contesting. Roger. Oh, yes, sir. Okay, because you have a built-in amp, then you're going to get a better mix or match to your radio. You will get a better match to your radio because that that particular D104 has a built-in amplifier, which has probably output of about 600 ohms, which makes it a pretty good match into your radio. Let's see here. I was going to mention something else. You could probably get a little bit better low-frequency response if you were working a little closer to it. There's a thing that says the closer you work a microphone, you have a rising low-end response, a bass response. As you work the mic real close, it's going to be bassier, and that's probably exactly what you need with that D104. So I would say, come right up on that D104 and work it like about an inch away, Roger.
Roger, yeah, I'm about an inch away from it right there now. Does that sound any better?
Yes, sir. You have a lot better bottom end now than you did before. Now, do you know where your onboard EQ or equalization stuff is?
No, sir. I don't believe that's got that on this radio. If it does, then it has to be tuned, on the inside of the radio.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds a lot better, a lot fuller now that you're working it closer because you're getting more body into your signal. Before it was just way up at the top and sheet 10. So now it's got a little bit of force to it, and that's what really makes modulation the body, you know. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just, you know, the more we can get out of our radios and operate them more proficiently, then the better we're going to have options, better options to make better contacts, even in adverse radio conditions, you know, like static and all that stuff. So you've just, by working that microphone really tight like that, you just increased your apparent modulation by 40-50%, almost double your signal, Roger.
All right, Roger, that sounds good to me. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that, but I've learned something today for sure from you. I sure do appreciate that. W4DHP for identification.
Roger, sir. Yeah, I would run it just like that. And if you want to hear your radio, we are recording, so if you would like to go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, it'll take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3200, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Roger, yeah, that sounds good. That way I can hear what's going on there with it. And if you could just give me that information one more time about the YouTube there, and I'll write it down.
Roger. Go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook on a YouTube search, and that will bring up this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
I'm just going to sit here and monitor, see if there's anybody else wants to check in there. Sound good to you?
Roger. Appreciate it. You have a really good afternoon and a beautiful weekend. And if you get a chance, Daryl, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Yes, sir. Kilowatt, 1208, Lima, Papa Radio.
All right. I wasn't sure Bob and Lima Papa Radio were the same entities, but okay, so now I got you now. Bob, what's your location again?
Okay, so now I got you now. Bob, what's your location again? I am located in the northern panhandle of West Virginia in a town called Glendale.
Roger. And what radio are you running today?
Roger. And what radio are you running today? I'm running a TS-2000 barefoot into an end-fed wire up about 20-25 feet.
Oh, roger that. Now, we usually start with checking to be sure we're in that wide transmit mode. We want to have the best resolution possible for our transmitter, so we want to be in that wide mode, which is 100 to 2900. Are you familiar with the TBW?
2900. Are you familiar with the TBW? No, sir, I am not.
Okay, you should have a switch selection somewhere that determines your transmit bandwidth, and so I would suggest maybe, taking a note and checking that out at a later time at your convenience. Like I say, we want to be in that wide transmit bandwidth, 100 to 2900. That lets our transmitter be all that it can be, and then gives us just a slice of daylight before we're into somebody else's conversation. Roger?
Before we're into somebody else's conversation. Roger? Yeah, copy that. I got you there. But in order to do that with this radio here, it's venue driven, and I would have to get out the owner's manual and look that up and see what number in the menu that might be to go to it in order to make any changes. And that would take a little bit of research on my part, as the manual is not here with me. It's on the other side of the room in a filing cabinet. But I will look that up and see what I'm set at. I've often had very, very good reports on my signal and my audio, so I've never really looked into that to see if that needs any attention of mine. Go ahead.
Roger, Bob. But communications today is all about articulation, being able to understand what people are saying. The easier it is, the better it is, because we have many downfalls in amateur radio as far as our transmitted signal. We have noise to put up with. We have, static, QRM, and fading, and then, Mother Nature might bend a part of our signal back, and we start having phasing. So we really need to concentrate as best we can and get all the articulation that we can so folks can understand what we're saying. And so sometimes, we might have to walk across the room and grab the book and say, hey, let me just check about this, because I do want to be as articulated as I can be. And if you're not in that wide mode, then you have rolled off your top end, which is so important for articulation. Most of the articulation occurs in the syllabic range, which is in the treble part of the audio spectrum, and when you start working lesser resolutions on your transmitter, you start to roll off that most important top end. Roger?
Roll off that most important top end. Roger? Well, I can agree with everything you had to say there so far, except for the fact that I'm not sure what I'm hearing from you. Am I hearing from you that I am not transmitting a voice that you can understand? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm just saying that maybe it could be even better, I'm not real sure, but, I have a kind of a generic setup procedure. And you can, if you're down in one of those lesser modes of resolution on your transmitter, like 300 to 2300 or something like that, you have rolled off most of your intelligibility in the, top part of your audio spectrum. So inversely, if you're coming on up there to 100 to 2900, you've maximized the capability of your transmitter, because that gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. Roger?
Slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. Roger? Okay, sir. I appreciate you pointing that out to me. I'll get the book out and figure out in the menu where I go to set that bandwidth on transmit. And go there and see what my settings are and correct them if they're out of the right range. So you say 2900 to 100 will give me the maximum without interfering, say, beyond a couple KCs up or down.
It should. That's when we picked 100 to 2900 as opposed to 0 to 3K, because that's right at the right in somebody's lap. So 100 to 2900 gives you just that slice of daylight there before, like I say, you're into somebody else's conversation. And you probably are in that wide mode already. This is just something to be sure that you are, as being all that you can be.
Sure that you are, as being all that you can be. Well, okay, sir. I will make it a point to check on that. And never since I've got the radio I bought it used, had the urge to go check the transmit bandwidth. But I will check that and see, now that you brought it up to my attention, and see where I'm at. And maybe I can improve a little bit on what I have. That would not be a bad thing. That would be a good thing. Thank you for pointing that out to me, and I am going to move on with you, try to make contact with others. It's been nice chatting with you. Glad I run into you, and maybe we'll talk again someday, and I'll be able to tell you for sure where I'm at. And with that, I'm going to say 7 trees and God bless. This is KB8LPR.
Roger, Roger, Bob. Well, that's the beginning of our setup process. If you were interested, the next step from there is about your compressive processor. We'd like that, I know you got to move along, but the compressive processor, we're looking to set that up at about a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. It's something that you'll never hear on the air, but it helps us make our final noise situation as far as voice over noise ratio. You'd only be compressing at a 3 or a 10, a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, probably about 2 or 3 dB, very, very shallow. Nobody, like I say, would really hear that. And then it's on to our ALC setup, and we're looking to set the mic level. And the best way to do that is go to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and as you say the word audio, spoken just as you would speak any other word in a QSO, not stressing it, just saying it, and adjusting with your mic level to where the ALC meter is running 2/3. And that word audio is just such a nice word. You become a human test tone generator, and it allows you to just to turn that mic up or down to where you're right on 2/3 on your ALC meter. Roger?
Right on 2/3 on your ALC meter. Roger?
You're wasting your time, Jim.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
But anyway, Bob, gosh, are you still there?
You still there?
I bet he's halfway to his book on the other side of the room, probably stopped off to get a glass of tea, maybe even a hamburger if he plays his cards right. He's got his barbecue pit there. And, Anyway, Bob, we'll see you later, bud. Thanks for dropping by. This is the Friday afternoon. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. And if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
LPR, am I back functioning again properly?
I'm sorry, you're speaking with me?
I think I am. This is Bob, KB8LPR. I had done something that had burned me with my fumble fingers and had this radio all messed up, and I had to go back through it and see what I did to get things back to normal. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, sir, I am, and you look like you're about 3 dB dynamic range, which is exactly where we would tell you to go as far as setting a modulation level, and that means that your average percent of peak modulation is somewhere around 80 to 85%, which is a nice, healthy signal, but, it's just perfectly clear, Roger.
Just perfectly clear. Yeah, okay, well, I'm sorry about that, but I was trying to do some things here as you were talking and check things, and my fat, old, fumbly fingers on this small-faced button radio hit something wrong, and I'm not sure what I did. One of the things I did is I switched from antenna 1 to antenna 2, which wasn't good, and a couple other things them fumble fingers did. But I did check my processor level while you were talking before I hit the wrong button. It's set at 34 right now out of possible 100. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. That's close enough. That's a real good ballpark right there. That would normally be a 30. but I know that it's difficult to go in there and change things from a 34 to a 30, and it's a matter of procedure, but it probably, in the scheme of things, won't make too much difference. That's pretty close to where we want it. So then the other thing would be the LTV, the ALC. As you speak, adjust your mic gain to 2/3 as you say the word audio.
To 2/3 as you say the word audio. Okay, sir, I got you there. I will do that and see what comes of that. As of right now, I'm talking in a normal voice. So what's my ALC meter? I am bouncing up to right about the top end of the scale where it's supposed to be. My radio, according to the ALC meter, has 3 dashes. One being low, one mid, I guess, and one being high, and it's making it all the way up well into the 3rd and maybe just a little beyond the 3rd.
Right, you just want to stay out of that, the red line. You want to be slightly under the red line. I can see that I have a VU meter tied to my audio 7300 audio output, and I can see your modulation, and I can see that your signal is stonewalling right at a certain point. So, and that usually occurs right at that 2/3 point on the ALC meter. Roger.
Right at that 2/3 point on the ALC meter, Roger. Okay, sir. Well, I need to go in and adjust it, like you said, with a 2/3 level. Yeah, it does. When I put inflection into my voice, the level goes really high. So I'm going to say the mic is a little bit hot right now. You're probably correct. You'll have to back that off a little bit, I feel.
Well, you just, set your level. The ALC meter is the Bible for your radio. So if you were to change microphones, not all microphones have the same output. So you need to verify what your modulation level is. And your ALC meter will tell you that. So when you change mics, you should go to your ALC meter and do that setup procedure, audio, and adjust your mic level until you're 2/3 on your ALC, and you just take care of that microphone, even though it may be a totally different kind of microphone with only half as much output as the other one. You can make it work properly and set it properly just by doing that, Roger.
You can make it work properly and set it properly just by doing that, Roger. Roger. Okay, while you were talking, I did do a small adjustment back the microphone gain on this radio. Again, it's a 0 to 100 range. Was set at 50. I'm backing it down to 40.
Right, and you're a little more peaky now than you were before. Before you were a little fuller than where you are. But the whole thing is, we can talk level all night long, and I'm not there, and you're not here. So I'm just saying that the best way to set your microphone level is to just say the word audio and adjust your mic level until your ALC meter is running 2/3, and there it is. You got it.
Meter is running 2/3, and there it is. You got it. Okay, QSL on that. Well, I do have to get out of here. One thing I did not get so far, and I thought you probably give it to me, but I was probably confused. I'm an old geezer. I get confused easy. I didn't get your call sign and or your name.
Roger. Name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and the call sign is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, the Qso-Vlog net, and we've been recording, all the time. And if you would like to hear your audio and our conversation, go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, and it'll take you to this recording. And this recording will be cut number 1 in a series of 3200, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger.
And I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger. Okay, Jim, thank you very much. I will check that out, and I'll get out of here when I I have a chance to sit down again, I will look up that bandwidth, how to get into this, but it is menu driven. There's not a knob on the front of this radio. I've got to get into the menu and get to the right number to bring that up, and then I'll be able to make adjustments once I get there. So I'll check that out, and I'll also do the little trick he told me about the audio, and see what happens with my mic gain. My mic gain, like I said right now, I backed it down while you were talking from 50 down to 40, which maybe made it a little better, maybe made it worse, I'm not sure, but I will go back later and adjust according to what you had just said. Okay, thanks a lot for the information, Jim. I do got to get out of here. I got somewhere I got to be soon. So 73s and God bless. This is QB8 LBR.
Roger, Roger, Bob. 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Station calling, let's see, come back slowly with your call sign, please.
Come back slowly with your call sign, please. Romeo.
Station ending in Romeo, Romeo. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system so I can look around for a better path, Roger?
Around for a better path, Roger.
This is W8PRR, double with about 25 feet. I just went from 60 to 100 watts. I doubt if that helped too much. But I'm located in Ohio. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. I've got you on my local antenna now. Things are a lot better. So now come back slowly phonetically with your call sign, please.
Whiskey 8, Papa, Romeo, Romeo. W8 Pennsylvania Railroad. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. PRR. And what's the name there?
My name is Romeo India Charlie Kilo. Where are you located, sir?
I'm in, well, just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. Name's Jim here, Juliet India Mike. And what did you say your name was?
Name is Rick, Romeo India Charlie Kilo.
Roger, Rick. And what's your location?
West Liberty, Ohio. West Liberty. I'm about 40 miles northeast of Dayton. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. And what radio are you running today?
Kenwood 590SG. Kenwood 590SG.
Is that Sugar Gulf?
Affirmative, correct.
Roger, Roger. And Rick, gosh, I got a pin. You know, have you ever seen, I don't know if you're familiar with YouTube, but sometimes they do these things like they print a gray against white, gray against white, you know, and you have to read this thing, and it's the contrast level leaves a lot to be desired. Well, I got this pen that's running out of ink, so it's writing so lightly that I can hardly read it. I've got to try to find another pen because I'm obviously running out of ink. And I know you don't want to hear that, but anyway, this is the Qso-Vlog net, and what we mainly do is try to help people set up their transmitter to the best that it can be, and it usually starts with checking to be sure you're in that wide transmit bandwidth, 100 to 2900. That's such a nice frequency capability for the transmitter because it lets it be all that it can be, and then gives it just a slice of daylight before we're knocking on somebody else's conversation. Roger?
Roger that. Well, I haven't, I've just been back on 40 meters for a few days. I've been off for about 5 years, been on other bands, but had some TVI problems on 40 and changed televisions in my wife's room, and now I can get back on. Go ahead.
Oh, aren't you lucky? You are one lucky son of a gun, because usually once you have that, you know, outside of lining the room with lead, you know, it's very difficult to get rid of it, Roger.
Lead, you know, it's very difficult to get rid of it, Roger.
Yeah, that's true. It was a flat screen that was giving us trouble, but it was a very old one, and we got a different one, and glad to get back on 40. It's a very nice band. In fact, I probably enjoy it more than I do any other HF band, Glenn.
Yes, sir. It's got its moments, I'll tell you that. But there's a lot of strange people here. But at least we do have some traffic. Other places, there's just nothing happening. It's like you could hear a pin drop and nobody says anything. So we've been on 40 for about 7 years now, and it's had its lighter moments. But by and all, we do have some pretty good traffic, Roger.
We do have some pretty good traffic, Roger.
Yeah, that's great. I've been off and on the band for, oh my gracious, I think I'll have my general class 40 years next year. I had a tech for about 3 years before that, but been on and off of it for a long time. But I've just been off of it for a long time, and I'm glad to get back. Go ahead.
Ah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I'm glad that you solved your problem of RF in the TV. I've had problems, particularly in the early days, about RF in my audio system because I've got so much tied to it. The more you tie to a microphone feeding a radio, the more possibilities you have of RF in the AF, because RF is like a gremlin. You got to direct it away and out, and when you have it, sometimes I would say, gosh, I wish I could just see it so I could control it better. And so then I came across old CB SWR bridge that had a field strength meter built into it, and that field strength meter just allowed me to see where the RF is, when I was transmitting. And it turned out that I have cable runs around the house, and I have my transmit cable running in this run, and I had some antenna rotor cable that came in with it, and of course the antenna cable, the rotor cable, was not shielded, and RAID was running side by side with this RF, and it leaked just enough to be bringing RF back into my system. So without that field strength meter, I would be still scratching my head, Roger.
Without that field strength meter, I would be still scratching my head, Roger.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. I've got a couple old CB field strength meters, and I've also got an MFJ SWR bridge that's got a field strength meter in it, so I can sniff around a little bit, but we just never came up with the problem. I think it was literally getting into the television. We powered the television from different sources and tried different runs of. It was actually run on cable TV. We weren't running on an antenna, and it was just crazy. But I got it in. I moved my equipment upstairs. I had a knee replaced here a while back, and I decided if I was going to get on the radio, it's going to have to be upstairs. And I find that my knee, before I can get downstairs, but I like enough, I'm going to keep it. Go ahead.
Oh, Roger. Well, I hope your knee is coming along very good. That's not a very nice thing to have, and how long did it incapacitate you?
And how long did it incapacitate you?
Well, I'm 9 weeks out today on the surgery. I was totally down. I couldn't drive for 6 weeks. I still don't drive to physical therapy because they hurt me so daggone bad that I'm not sure what I would be like if I did. So I've got a retired friend that is a widower, and he and I are very close friends. And therapy for the last 9 weeks. I'm scheduled for 3 more weeks of it. It still hurts, but they tell me it'll take 6 to 9 months to get over that. The problem is when we do the other one. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I would space them out, you know. I mean, it's nothing worse than having two problems simultaneously. It just absolutely is the end of mobility in any way, you know. So if you can, I would separate them in time and space.
And I would separate them in time and space.
Yeah, they're going to be separated. It will be at least spring and maybe this time next fall. Because my wife is housebound. She's not bedfast, but she is in bed most of the time, although she's around the house. And we have a daughter that lives with us that has lupus, and neither one of them can do much if it snows up here. We have two. I don't have a chance. I live with 4 females.
Oh boy, you know. Well, I don't know what to say about that. My wife is probably listening. Thank God I'm a single sideband, so she doesn't cipher too well single sideband. You know, not like AM where, you know, I'd be coming out of a coffee pot or something.
You know, I'd be coming out of a coffee pot or something.
I'm not going to run run any races, and I'm not climbing too many stairs that I don't have to, but it's getting better. The first 2 weeks were... I thought I needed to have my head examined for having it done, but everybody says the same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. The thing is to stay out of them MRIs and stuff, man. Gosh, I had a double MRI the other day, and my head's still ringing.
I'll tell you, that day, I don't know if I can have an MRI. That's something I've got to have. I was going to ask the surgeon because they did not use titanium. They used stainless steel and something else, he told me. I don't even know if I can have an MRI again. And if I can't, well, yeah, it could be bad, but I'll tell you what, I'm just a little bit claustrophobic, and stuffing me in that tunnel is not fun.
Oh yeah. When I did that double MRI, by the second one, I was doing kind of screaming, and well, not really screaming, but I was singing, trying to reach the harmony notes of the MRI frequency, you know, and I was just kind of coming in and out, going, just for something to do to keep from thinking about what I was hearing. I was trying to resonate and harmonize with the MRI machine.
With the MRI machine.
WAPRR. Yeah, that sounds good. I will say the last one wasn't as bad. I had, I think, 3. And the last one probably was the easiest. And they stuck a set of headphones on me and had a 50s and 60s oldies music station on it. So I did pretty well with that one, guys.
Oh, well, this one did too, but when the juice came on and the thing started to buzz, that radio was long gone. The level, well, let's see, the ambient level of this MRI machine was probably 130 decibels over the radio sound, Roger.
Over the radio sound, Roger.
Wow, that's crazy. I can't say that I experienced that. I mean, there's some noise to it, but I could always hear what I was listening to. Oh, well. So you say you're just across the river. Are you up in Indiana?
Yes, sir. We're just across the river. I can see downtown Louisville from where I am right now, and I can't really, but I mean, it's just, a couple of miles away across the Ohio River. Or was the last time I checked, anyway. But yeah, we usually do a setup service on this net, and that is checking out the transmit bandwidth is the first thing that we do, and the second thing, once we get into it, is about the compressor processor. We want that on a 3 or out of 10 or 30 out of 100, just barely there, not much to write home about, but 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, not noticeable. And then to that ALC, and the ALC is like the Bible to your radio, and to set that level, you use the magic word audio, I spent months trying to find the right word to say to become a human test tone generator. So as you say the word audio, adjust your mic level until your ALC meter is running 2/3, Roger.
ALC meter is running 2/3, right?
Okay, well, that's interesting. Oh, I don't have the compressor on at all right now. And I haven't messed with the ALC on this for quite a while. I will at some point. I'm going to have to run. Wife needs some medication, and I've got to go get ready. I appreciate the conversation and the radio set this afternoon. And we will catch you a bit further down the log, and maybe we can do a little more detailed work on this radio. I'll say 7-3, my call is Whiskey 8. Papa Romeo, Romeo, I did not catch yours, but I will say good afternoon. Very good.
Roger, Rick. Name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and we record as we go along down the road, and we have been recording. And if you'd like to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, and it'll be cut number 1 in the series of 3200, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So 73 there, Rick, and we'll catch you later, sir.
And we'll catch you later, sir.
7-3, I will most assuredly do that tomorrow. W8KR 7-3.
This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Kilo Alpha 4, Kilo Sierra Victor.
Call sign ending in Victor. Come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign. Kilo Alpha 4, Kilo Sierra Victor.
That's a Kilo Sierra Victor, Zed Roger.
That's a Kilo Sierra Victor, Zed Roger. That's a Roger, Roger. Hey, Tom, Tango Oscar Mike.
Roger, Tom, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
Roger, Tom, and whereabouts are you located, sir? In the northeast corner of Kentucky. Ways right almost up in West Virginia. Just south of Ashland.
Ah, yes, I know where that is. What radio are you running today, Tom?
I know where that is. What radio are you running today, Tom? Running an ICOM 7300 into the inverted V dipole up about 35 feet.
Roger, Roger. Okay, why don't you give me about 10 seconds, tell me about your antenna system, and I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger. Yeah, okay, appreciate it. Okay, appreciate it.
Inverted V dipole up the apex about 35 feet. Running a ICOM 7200 into a feed line that's probably 150 feet long. Power is about 100 watts out of the radio, barefoot. And that's about it.
Roger, Roger, Tom. Well, I have a bunch of internet SDR receivers all over the eastern part of the United States, but in this case, it turned out my local antenna is just great, about 10 over, and it is hooked up to my 7300, so you're just, doing real well. You have a very nice audio curve, nice flat, a lot of bottom end, not a lot of bottom end, but a very balanced bottom end, and a pretty good mid-range and good top end. The thing I love about the 7300 is that there are only two equalizer controls, and they figured out that they didn't need that mid-range. They wanted that to be stationary anyway, so they said we weren't even going to put that in. So it really makes equalizing and balancing that 7300 just very, very easy, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Well, I've wondered about the microphone that came with these things. Would it help my audio any if maybe you change to a Howl type microphone or anything like that?
You are talking on a Heil microphone. Bob Heil designed that microphone specifically for the 7300, Roger.
I did not know that. That's great to know.
Yes, sir. And the best way to run that microphone is don't talk directly into it. You pull it to the side of your mouth, actually touch your lips on the side of your mouth and talk across it. Kind of like Broderick Crawford. I don't know if you know who that was, but Highway Patrol 30, 40 years ago. But you just pull it to the corner of your lips and actually touch the corner of your lips and talk across it. Roger?
Roger. Okay. I've got the ELC, the compressor on it about 2/3 of the way up or something like that. It's running on a scale of 100. It's running about 70. Quick.
Yes, sir. That's ideal. Now, I want you to pull that mic just a little bit further back from the front of your mouth. We're still catching some mouth noise, so pull it back a little bit further to the corner of your lips. Roger?
Roger. How about that right there?
Now, that right there, working it just like that at that point, I could not tell that you weren't using a desk mic. Roger?
Roger.
So I would run that just like that, Roger.
I've always had tube-top radios. I started out with a Drake L4B. With a TR4CW. And ran that for many years. Then I went to a 10-Tech Corsair. I went through that Corsair, and then I went to a Jupiter, 10-Tech Jupiter. I liked it real well, but it's laid down on me. So I thought I'd try an ICOM, this 7300. It looks like it's going to do more than I can do.
Yes, sir. I have found that 7300. I've tuned up probably 1,000 7300s, and I am just falling in love every time with that transmitter. It's just so clean, when you set it up properly. It's just one of the cleanest transmitters that I've ever run across. And the simplicity of the equalization is another thing that it's hard to go wrong. A lot of people get in there and they start playing with that mid frequency and get all jacked out of shape, and I think that's why I think Bob worked on the equalization circuit for ICOM also, so that really makes a difference. It simplifies things. Equalizer is all about balancing the top mid-range to the top EQ to the mid-range, and balancing the bottom to the mid-range. And that being true, the best thing to do is just keep that mid-range off or flat. Roger?
Roger. I will try to remember that too. I appreciate all the information. It's fairly new to me. I've been a ham a long time. I was licensed in 1972. But I've had a bout with Agent Orange, and it's done the number on me. I had to give up radio there for a while. I was out of commission for about 10 or 12 years, and just recently got back into it here, and trying to get the feel of it again. I haven't been back that long. And still fighting the evidence of it, but I'm coming along. Got a better place to go when it's over, though.
Roger. Now, as far as that 7300, I'll tell you a secret. I came from a broadcast career, and when I went to WHS, which was, I came to WHS from North Carolina in 1970, and there was a guy there called Van Vance, and I'd listened to Van at nighttime over in North Carolina before I came, and I was just dismayed about how he sounded, like wall to wall, and so when I got here, then I'm doing my show on the air, and Van comes in to do his sports show, and he's sitting opposite me on the sports desk. And I had my earphones off, and I could not hear him when I could see my meter moving a little bit, but I could not actually hear him. And so I put my earphones on, and gosh, I mean, he was just wall to wall. And so that taught me something about projection. And it is the more you project, the less nuances and overtones that your voice has. It's like the difference between a whisper, like, maybe low like this, and a scream. When you scream, you close in the tone. It's more like a monotone, and that's how you get so loud on a scream. It's because you're not doing any other frequencies, just that one frequency, and you're projecting that one frequency. Now, if you turned up the mic and then spoke softly, you suddenly have many overtones in your voice. And I'm just saying now that you may have problems with projection, so it's not a problem, and I don't hear any right now, but I'm just saying in the future, if you start to have breathing problems or projection problems, just look at your ALC meter, bring that ALC meter out and look at it, and speak at a comfortable level. And at about 1 or 2 inches, or hold that mic just like I was telling you, and then adjust your mic level to whatever you need to get that audio up into the sweet spot of your ALC meter. If lacking projection helps, breathing or whatever, then that would be the thing to do, Roger, and you would sound even bigger if you would need to do that.
Roger, appreciate that. Right now, it looks like it's running scale, it's running about 70 on a scale to 100 there.
Yes, sir. That's the absolute sweet spot you want to have, And later on, if you need to speak softer, then just turn that mic up and speak softer, whatever's comfortable for you. And you're looking at your ALC meter, so you're going to be right in that sweet spot, Roger.
Roger. I appreciate that. So as of right now, would you change anything?
No, you are just perfect. Your audio level is 3 dB dynamic range, so your audio level is just perfect. With a 3 dB dynamic range, your average percent of peak modulation is 80 to 85%, so it's just beautiful. I'm listening to you on a 7300, which goes down to 100 cycles. And my house monitor system goes down to 40 cycles. It has a subwoofer in the house monitor system, so you're just so well balanced. I wouldn't touch a thing, Roger. Just enjoy.
Roger. I appreciate that. I surely do, Jim. Okay, buddy. I'll let you go try to maybe help someone else. I appreciate the help. Kilo Alpha 4, Kilo Sierra Victor. I will be clear on your phone, dear.
Roger. And that was Tom. Is that a Roger?
Roger.
Yes, sir, Tom. And if you want to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook on a YouTube search, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a case of 7200, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger. Appreciate that.
Roger, Tom. 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, and we're recording now till 5. I am going now over to my Kentucky SDR, which is up around Cincinnati. It's on the Kentucky side of Cincinnati, and we're listening up that way.
The Kentucky side of Cincinnati, and we're listening up that way.
And again, this is primarily for my 100-watt friends that have difficulty getting out or being heard. But, you know, the thing is, I have 5 internet SDR receivers, and plus my local antenna. And if I'm not hearing you, you might consider that maybe there's a problem with your antenna. I believe that a 100-watt transmitter located in the eastern part of the United States should be an S1 somewhere. Well, S9 actually. Should be an S9 somewhere. If you're an S1 everywhere, you're not getting out. And that probably would relate to your antenna system. And that's why we suggest maybe a dipole antenna would be a nice thing in your future. I'm using one. I've used one for the past 7 years. And I really enjoy the operation of that antenna. And you can make them, directional to some degree. Now, if you've seen radiation angulation reports off a dipole antenna, you see that the RF moves out at broadside to the antenna length. And so, if you wanted to hit a certain place, you would put broadside your string, your dipole antenna broadside to the target area, and that would help start. It's ADI. There's a formula for that, but what it is it just means how well do you get out into the area that you're trying to get out on, and into. And so everybody, even the way you string your antenna is affecting the way that your signal radiates into the area that you're trying to reach. If you have an antenna that's the end is facing the area that you're trying to reach, it's not going to be as well as if your antenna was broadside to the target. So you might think about that the next time you have an opportunity to string an antenna. Maybe string it in such a way that it's broadside to your target area, and then hopefully you might have an AV switch on your antenna. One of my rules is that I always keep the old antenna. I always keep the old antenna, even when I got the new and even building the new antenna. I'll keep the old one and have it on an AV switch, just to be sure that I'm doing better than where I was. Because if you don't have a reference point that what it was, then you don't know how much better or worse you are with the new antenna. Roger?
Much better or worse you are with the new antenna. Roger?
I'm speaking philosophically, not that a humanoidal person might be listening, but on the wild chance that they may be, I am on my Kentucky antenna. I'm going to my local 7300 antenna down around Louisville, Kentucky. Anybody in the area? This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net.
Net. November 2, Bravo Uniform Echo, S2VUE.
Roger, Ron. That is Ron out there, Roger.
Roger, Ron. That is Ron out there, Roger.
BUE, this is KC9VKV. That's Ron, Roger.
BUE, this is KC9VKV. That's Ron, Roger.
Oh, yes, Jim, I'm sorry. You know what? I have a street light come in to the RFI. It's just starting to come in on, and it's giving me some static crashes, and until it straightens out, it can be a nuisance. So, yeah. I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if you came back to me or not, Jim. Yeah, it's Ron in New Jersey, over.
Roger, John. I just went to my PA SDR receiver, and gosh, you're just killing me here. About 20 over. So just relax. You're making it. I may not be, but you're making it into that SDR just wall to wall, buddy.
Into that SDR just wall to wall, buddy.
Hey, Roger, Jim. Yeah, like I say, this darn street light, it's about, I'm going to say a good 200 yards away. And it's one of them orange, I forget what type they are, but it's really, at this time of day, it can be a pain until it really warms up and straightens out and stays on. I contacted the electric company, and they said by the 15th of December, they should have it corrected. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I'm copying you pretty good. You're about an S7, 5x7, 5x8. But then when them static crashes, the noise level goes up over an S9, and it makes it difficult to copy, Jim.
Roger. Well, sounds like you've got some weather moving in. Sounds like you might have some weather, lightning and rain moving your way. But, as far as that street light's concerned now, I have faced that issue myself. And I don't know what it is, but sometimes when that light isn't lighting, it's making so much noise, it's pathetic. And in my travels and in my conversations to the power folks, which ultimately control that light, I point out the fact that my station is federally authorized. I'm a federally authorized station, and that light is interfering with my receive and transmit capabilities, and we might have to do something about that. And usually, they're not interested in having to face the Federal Communications Commission, which is ultimately, my boss for licensing my station, and they would be interfering with a licensed federal radio station, Roger.
Interfering with a licensed federal radio station, Roger.
Hey, Roger, Jim. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. This is the same thing. I've been communicating with them for quite a while now with this darn street light, and it's just taking them forever to correct the problem, and I can't understand. Well, I guess with the storms, and they've been overwhelmed with, sending people away and different things like that. I can kind of understand that, but you have to take care of some local issues also. And this darn thing is just a complete nuisance. At times, like I say, the noise level can go over S9 and last for 3 or 4 seconds, and then it goes off and the noise level drops right back down to almost zero, and then all of a sudden here it comes again. And that goes on for almost an hour, a good hour and a half, it seems, until the thing kind of warms up a little bit. So it is kind of making that copy a little tough on my end right now, Jim. Over.
Oh, Roger. Now, Ron, what you have to do, though, is be sure that you verify absolutely where the noise is coming from. And there's a couple of ways to do that. You know about the portable radio. Tune it to a lower frequency where there are no stations at the bottom of the dial or whatever. And just sniff around that area and, double check the signal strength in that area versus, around elsewhere. So you more or less identify where the offending interference is coming from. You might even be lucky enough to, if you had a field strength meter, to take the field strength meter and see if you could get a field strength reading on the interference level, Roger.
Strength reading on the interference level, Roger.
Hey, Roger, Jim. Yeah, I'll check that out. I'll try it out, see what happens. Anything to kind of eliminate it. I mean, your audio is so good. You're an S8.
when that light isn't creating interference, but then all of a sudden here it comes and it kind of right at your level, like with S8, S9, and it just I can't actually copy what you're saying. Well, why that's going on for three or four seconds. So what I'm going to say, at least I got to make contact with you this Friday. I'm going to pay a 73 along to you, and I'm going to turn the volume down for a while until this darn street light issue settles out. So KC9VKV and 2BUE. You have a good weekend, Jim. Over.
Roger, Ron. I was just thinking about, I'm sure, what radio are you running right now?
I'm sure, what radio are you running right now?
Yeah, I'm running the FTEX 101D. Let's see, it looks like, by this meter, about 420 watts.
Oh, Roger. Okay. On your receiver, you have an impulse noise filter. You might try putting that on and adjusting that, because what you probably have is high impulse noise coming off that light. So if you were to just run that impulse noise filter, it would cut that noise about a third or two-thirds, and hopefully my voice would still come through that. Let's do a test, if you wouldn't mind, if you got the time. Just put your noise filter on that radio. Put it on and see if that knocks that noise way down.
Put it on and see if that knocks that noise way down.
Okay, Jim, very well. Let's see, I got the digital noise reduction on, and I just put the digital noise filter on. So we'll see what happens. I did not have the digital noise filter on, so I just switched it on and see if it helps at all. Over.
Roger. Now, I'm not sure what that is. I mean, but what it used to be called was an impulse noise filter. In other words, the noise coming off that light is very spiky. And what we want is something that clips that spike at some level. So, maybe that is what it is, or maybe you have an impulse noise filter. I'm not real sure, but am I making it through the noise with it?
Impulse noise filter. I'm not real sure, but am I making it through the noise with it?
I'm sorry. I hate to ask you to repeat that, but I didn't catch it. I did not catch the and what was that very end question?
Oh, I was just talking about the different kinds of filters, and what we really need right at this point is an impulse noise filter. What it does, it attacks the spike, and what you have coming off that telephone pole is spike waveforms, and so this impulse noise filter, you can adjust it to where it's taking the spike out, it shifts the signal-to-noise ratio, as far as I'm concerned, to be able to hear me without having to put up with that spike that shoots over my head by 3 decibels.
Having to put up with that spike that shoots over my head by 3 decibels.
Oh, okay. Okay, very well. Now, you're saying this is an external device?
No, I would think that your radio would have that. You might read up on it on your radio and see if you have something that would work on impulse noise filtering. That's a very common kind of interference, and so I would think that radio would have that.
I think that radio would have that.
Is that somebody calling?
Is that somebody calling?
Yankee Bravo 9, Japan, Norway, Zulu.
Roger, Roger, Zulu. Go ahead.
Okay, I guess there was someone else breaking in here, Jim. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, somebody at Zulu station.
That you're talking to, he's got the 101, I have it too. There's a VC tune on that radio which can be quite effective, and that with the noise blanker, and that radio has some excellent noise fighting capabilities. Back to you, Jim.
Yes, sir. Noise blanking, that's the filter. A noise blanker is what we need, Roger.
Filter. A noise blanker is what we need, Roger.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim. Were you talking about the noise blanker? Is that what you said?
There's a pre-selector, and that sometimes can help as well.
Yes, sir. I think the noise blanker would probably do the best. Now, put that noise blanker on about a 5, and then switch it in and out of the circuit, and see if it helps with reducing the spikes of that signal that's interfering with you, with me.
The spikes of that signal that's interfering with you, with me.
Okay, Jim. I got the noise blanker on, and yeah, about a 5. But I'm still getting it. They're just terrible. It's just a nuisance this time of day. It's just unbelievable. So, anyway, thanks for your help. It's getting pretty difficult copy. So I'm going to pass along to 73. Like I say, thanks again for your help. Earlier, I was copying it very good, and just as soon as I get in a QSO, this darn noise starts happening. One thing about living in a crowded community, this is the stuff you have to put up with. KC9VKV and 2BUE. Hopefully I'll catch you up next week, Jim. Have a good evening.
K3LFO.
Roger, Ron, 73 of that way, sir. Sorry for having to put up with the interference there. I wish you well on getting the problem solved. You may have to be more vocal than what you have been so far, because you are a federally licensed station, and so, usually the utility companies don't want to be operating in such a manner as to cause interference with a federally licensed station. So anyway, 73 there, Ron, and if you want to hear your audio, as always, I'm crystal clear on your reception. I'm copying you on the... where am I copying you on? I'm copying you on the PA SDR, and you're about 30, 40 over. Really nice signal. And if you want to hear it, of course, you go to YouTube, do that call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. And that'll take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,200, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. 73, Ron. And have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And there was another station out there, go ahead.
Weekend. There's another station out there,
K3LFO. Just wanted to drop in a piece of information. How come K3LFO's named Jim?
Roger, this is Jim. Go ahead.
Roger, this is Jim. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, I was just going to mention I very recently bought a really nice little lamp from a ham shack to put a shade on it where I can focus it down where I need it on the desk here and so forth. And I started getting horrible noises going in the radio here. And it turned out to be that new lamp. And I thought, well, I'll change the bulbs. Some of these light bulbs put out noise. That wasn't it. It was the lamp. So something else there. If you got a lamp anywhere near you that's new, it might be a solid state lamp. You might check it, turn it off while your radio's on, see if it helps. Anyway, I just want to pass that along. Piece of information. It might help. KC9VKV, again, name is Jim. I'm in North Carolina.
Roger, North Carolina station. Gosh, I could help you a bunch on your transmitter. The first thing I would do is take that hand mic and put it to the corner of my lips, and touch the corner of my lips and talk across it. Don't talk into that mic, because you're generating as much QRM as your speech level. So you want to put that mic just to the corner of your lips and touch it, Roger?
So you want to put that mic just to the corner of your lips and touch it, Roger?
How about that station giving us information? You still got a copy?
How about that station giving us information? You still got a copy?
No, I didn't know you were talking to me. K3LFO here, and Kilo 3, London, France, Ontario, and I'm located in North Carolina. Again, name's Jim. Well, did you copy my last transmission at all about the lamp? Go ahead.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's LEDs are just tremendous for generating square wave QRM. They really are. And what's so bad about it is that they're so spiky as far as that's concerned. That generation of interference, it just pierces everything. But I have some observations about your radio. If you would like to maybe improve it just a little bit, if you're running that hand mic, and if you take that hand mic and just put it to the corner of your lips and talk across it, as opposed to talking into it, you'll reduce a lot of noise, mouth noise, Roger.
A lot of noise, mouth noise, Roger.
Oh, yeah, I'm very familiar with it. No, I'm not using a hand mic. I'm using a headset, which I may have the audio gain up a little bit too high for that compared to the hand mic. Let me see. I can't find it here real quick. I was going to turn it down. Let me get back away from... How about this? This any better? I got the little boom mic back further.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's another thing we suggest is when you're wearing those boom mics on those headsets, take that boom mic out in front of you as far as you can get it, and then make your right angle turn. But try to get that boom out in front of you as far as you can, and then make that right angle turn, Roger?
Boom out in front of you as far as you can, and then make that right angle turn, Roger?
Well, it's not very long. How's this sound? This any better? K3LFO.
Oh, yes, sir. It's a night and day difference. It's much better. Just run it just like that. I wouldn't run it any other way. That really helps your signal to be able to understand what you're saying. You can hardly tell that you're running a headset microphone like that, Roger.
That you're running a headset microphone like that, Roger.
Roger, let me try something here. Okay, I don't know if the signal's strong enough, but just turn the amp off and see if that does any better.
No, leave your amp on. Leave your amp on. It really helps a great deal. We just, the problem is with your headset microphone, and we've got it placed properly now, so there is no problem. You're Katie bar the door right now, Roger. We might have to touch up your ALC level just a little bit since you moved the proximity to microphone, and we can do that if you have a moment. But I would turn your amp back on, and then we could probably just jump to the ALC set, and that is as you say the word audio, you become a human test tone generator, and you take your mic gain and just adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is running 2/3, Roger?
Until your ALC meter is running 2/3, Roger?
Roger, well, I'm very familiar with that. That's the first time I had a complaint about the audio here, but I might have gotten cracked up in the past here and haven't looked at it for years. So anyway, we'll just keep the move it out a little bit further here. Keep the boom mic out further away from us. Maybe that'll help a little bit. It's well, we gotta retune the amp. No, it's okay. Well, it's just not putting out as much power this way. That's all right. It doesn't really take much. I'm only driving with about 50 watts here, and usually I run it at about 70. So I like to idle it back as much as I can, usually, because it keeps the tube final cooler, and usually functions pretty good. So anyway, I just want to pass this thing along about the lamp. It's an LPG lamp, and I never heard such a noise as with that thing put out. So I didn't even return it. I threw it in the trash. Back to you. I think it's Ron. KC9VKV, is that your call? I was a little slow taking down the calls. K3LFO, K3 London, France, Ontario.
Roger, Roger. And what is the name there?
Roger, Roger. And what is the name there?
The name is Jim. Juliet, India, Mexico, Jim.
Roger, Jim. You're speaking to another Jim right here. This is KC9VKV, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. We're located around Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. And this is the Qso-Vlog net. And we have been recording since 3:30. So if you would like to hear your signal, which is really sounding very nice right now, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3200, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
And I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Well, I don't have the computer running in the shack anymore. I'll have to work on that. It kind of died. I've been on the air for... I've been on the air quite a bit lately, but up until about a week ago, I haven't been on the air for like 2.5 years. Moved to this location about 2.5 years ago, and I've since then become rather, I won't call myself handicapped, but having a walking problem with my legs, and haven't been able to do things like put up dipoles like I've always done myself in the past. So I finally found a couple of guys that would help me, and came out in about an hour and a half out it up. So it should keep me on the air for a good long time here. Anyway, we'll let you go, and good talking to you. I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving, and maybe run into you here again. KC9 VKV was it? I wrote it down wrong. No, KC9VKV, that's correct, isn't it? K3LFO, go ahead.
Roger there. KC9VKV is correct. And could you give me your call sign slowly, phonetically again?
VKV is correct. And could you give me your call sign slowly, phonetically again?
Kilo 3, London, France, Ontario. K3, low flying object, go ahead.
Roger. And whereabouts are you located, Jim?
Roger. And whereabouts are you located, Jim?
About 15 miles south of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Roger, North Carolina. And what radio are you running, sir?
Roger, North Carolina. And what radio are you running, sir?
This is a TS2000, Kenwood TS2000, driving a Ameritron AL80B. Go ahead.
Roger, Jim. And in parting, I would suggest that maybe you keep your ALC meter out so you can see it as you're talking to your friends and neighbors around the world. And you can play a game, but the object is to try to keep ALC meter in the sweet spot as best you can. So you might have to raise your mic level up or down a little bit to keep it in that sweet spot, but after a while you'll develop a relationship with that meter, and you'll be able to control it just with your voice, Roger.
With that meter, and you'll be able to control it just with your voice, Roger.
Yeah, roger that. Well, it shouldn't be that bad. It's been running pretty clean for quite a number of years now, but I'm going to look into it a little further and see what we find. Anyway, I'll pass along 73 to you, and again, happy Thanksgiving. I had a big dinner yesterday, and I slept good all night. KC9VKV. This is K3LFO, North Carolina, clear.
Roger, Jim 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and if you join us next Friday, we'd love to have you. Oh, and with that being said, gosh, we're out of time, way out of time. We're 15 minutes late getting out of here. I've got people down the road waiting for their net, I guess. So we're going to get out of here. Just a reminder, though, that if you have participated and wanted to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3200, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. And so with all that being said, we got to get out of here. This is KC9VKV, returning the frequency back to normal amateur radio use. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor is clear.